Now, let's move from trade to energy because sometimes a single barrier on oil, it can change the entire economy. And that's exactly what is happening today. Imagine that you wake up tomorrow morning, petrol prices go up, flight tickets become more expensive, grocery bills start rising, delivery charges, it increases. Even your electricity bill, it could be affected. You may think that these are separate problems, but in reality, they all begin with one thing: oil. And right now, oil is becoming expensive once again. Brent crude has crossed $100 per barrel mark after fresh attacks in the Red Sea. According to reports, Houthi rebels they targeted Saudi oil tankers, creating panic across one of the world's busiest shipping routes. Soon after that, the US President, Mr. Trump, he warned Iran of what he called major military punishment, accusing Tehran of supporting proxy attacks in the region. Now, you might think, why does fighting thousands of kilometers away matter to somebody who's living in India, the US, Canada, or Europe, right? Because almost every single nation depends on oil. And when there is fear that oil supply could be disrupted, markets react immediately. Traders begin buying oil in anticipation of shortages. Prices shoot up. In fact, shipping companies become nervous. Insurance costs increase. In the meantime, everything becomes expensive, and within days, that extra cost it reaches ordinary people like you and me. Reports say that shipping insurance rate in Red Sea have already jumped sharply. Many cargo ships are avoiding the risky route and traveling around Africa instead. Well, that journey is much longer. It consumes more oil. It takes more time, and every extra day at the sea adds to the final cost of product that reaches stores across the globe. Now, for countries like India, this becomes an even bigger challenge. India imports a large part of its crude oil it consumes. So, when international oil prices rise, India's import bill it also increases. That puts a lot of pressure on Indian rupee, and it can make imported goods even more expensive here. The impact is not limited to India, by the way. In the US, expensive oil creates another problem, and that problem is inflation. Higher fuel prices usually mean higher transportation cost. Businesses spend more to move the goods. Airlines pay more for fuel. In fact, manufacturers spend more on production. Eventually, consumers pay the price for almost everything. And when inflation rises, the US Federal Reserve faces a difficult decision here. Instead of cutting interest rate, it may decide to keep borrowing costs high for a longer period of time. And that means home loans remain expensive, car loans stay costly, business delay investment, and technology companies become more cautious with hiring. And that is why many economists they closely watch oil prices. They don't just see a commodity, they see a signal that what could happen to the global economy in coming months. For Indians working in the US, specifically those in the tech sector, this is an important development for you. Higher interest rate increases pressure on companies to control the cost. And when companies look to reduce expenses, hiring often slows down. Sometimes layoffs can also increase here. Investors are also becoming cautious, by the way. Stock markets usually dislike uncertainty. Whenever there is fear of a wider conflict in West Asia, markets become volatile. Some investors they move towards safer assets while others wait for more clarity before making the big decision. At the same time, the biggest question that is not just whether oil will remain above $100. The real question is whether this regional conflict will become even bigger. If tensions continue to rise here, energy prices could remain under pressure and the impact could be felt from New York to New Delhi. One thing is clear here, a missile fired in West Asia, it does not remain in West Asia. Well, it travels through global market. It reaches oil prices, affects inflation. In fact, it influences interest rate and finally lands in the pocket of ordinary Americans. And that is how deeply connected today's world has really become.